Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's Run Prep Recap. As it sits right now today, I am officially 18 weeks out from the run, which, including a 2-week taper, means I've got 16 weeks left of camp. So, just started phase 2 of the strength training program. I've got 4 weeks of that, then 4 weeks of phase 3, and then the rest of it is a bit fluid, but odds are we'll do then 4 weeks of phase 4, and then possibly 2 weeks of phase 5, 2 weeks of phase 6. We'll see how that all pans out. I'll talk to Ryan about that. But yeah, feeling pretty good now. So before I even get into the list of questions that I'm running through, I want to explain why I haven't done one of these recently. The first week of training camp was phenomenal. I had a great week. Running felt good, lifting felt good, recovery felt good. It was all good. But after week 1, I had a week of some weird like stomach flu/cold. So that took me out for a week. Following week, I went to Mexico, got food poisoning in Mexico. So that took me out. The day after getting back from Mexico, pinched a nerve in my neck. Gotta love getting injured while sleeping. So that took me out. And then we got into holiday season. And so the first month of training kind of was just null and void, which in a way was a blessing in disguise. There were a few things that felt good to just get a reset on. One of them was I wanted to make sure that I was having fun in this training camp, not just my usual way of like getting into a very grit warrior, flip the switch mentality. And I definitely fell into that pretty quick at the original start. So getting a chance to reset a little bit allowed me to remember to be intentional about enjoying the process, having fun with it, not just fast forwarding through and kind of putting my head down through the training camp. I want to be present for it. I want to enjoy it. And I've done a much better job of that recently. But the other piece I think it helped me with was putting a little bit of healthy pressure on the situation. I think when I originally started, because it was a full 24-week camp, I had a little bit of the mentality of I can take it pretty easy at the start and work my way in. But having that first month hiccup woke me up to the fact that, yes, there's a lot of time between now and the run, but that's because it will take a lot of time and a lot of intentional practices to get me to the point where I can even pull this off. So it was a blessing in disguise a bit, but that's why I didn't record. I'm a little bit kicking myself because I think there was a lot of value in the struggle that was the first month and just dealing with all of the things that popped up. But because I wasn't really even doing training camp, I didn't feel there was much to do a recap on. So now we're back at it, feeling pretty good, 16 weeks out. So the first question is, how am I feeling mentally and what is my self-talk like? I'm going to split this into 2 buckets. So there's the actual training bucket, so like getting ready for the run, and then there's the how is everything going for the whole event. Training for the run has been phenomenal. My mentality is really good. Because training has been progressing at an exceptional rate, my strength is improving, my cardio is improving. And so the self-talk around the prep for training has been great. I feel like I'm on track, I feel good, and I've been having fun. I've been doing fun upper body workouts, which I'll show you in a little bit. I've been enjoying the training. Now there's the event bucket. So this is getting the crew ready, making sure that the equipment and supplies list is set, making sure that the after party is ready to go, making sure that we have everything planned out for the documentary, making sure that everything's on track with the fundraiser. All of that has been a bit more chaotic. And so my mentality around it, so like mentally, when I think about that stuff, I'm a little more stressed out because I just want to make sure that I have all of that stuff set up and ready before training camp gets too crazy. And I'm expecting that training camp is going to get pretty crazy come March. So I have a month to make sure that all of that stuff is set up, planned out, ready to go, so that I can just focus when training gets really difficult. I can be very focused on just the training. So yeah, it's a complicated answer because there's so many different pieces of what's being put together for this. But I would say if I'm putting on the athlete hat, I feel great. If I'm putting on the coordinator hat, I feel pretty stressed out. And I need to make sure that I'm allocating enough time to reach out to the people who are interested in crewing and get that set up. To make sure that I'm allocating the time to piece together what story we want to tell for the documentary and understanding what shots have to be taken leading up to it, during it, after it, all of that. So mentally, in a weird spot, feeling good. Like I feel good about the whole thing. I'm very excited about the whole thing still. But inevitably in any training camp, there's the point where I say like the training wheels come off, which in my lingo just basically means it goes from the fun, exciting idea of the thing to the reality of the thing. And I think in the last week, that shift has very much happened, where it's gone from this idea of how cool would it be to pull this off to the reality of how much work is required to make this happen. And not just the run, but all of it. Raising the amount of money I want to, getting the people involved in the project I want to, all that stuff. So it's a lot, but that's kind of what I wanted. So I'm not going to complain about it. Next question, how am I feeling physically? Better than I expected, and I felt to expect to feel pretty dang good. That made no sense, but I feel fantastic. Every week I've been doing an in-body test, so that tracks weight, BMR, skeletal muscle mass, body fat percentage, any imbalances in the muscles, hydration levels, all of it. And since starting training, I'm up 5 pounds of muscle, which again, huge shout out to Ryan Zingsheim, Rising Fitness, sponsor of the event, and he's my strength coach for the event. So up 5 pounds of muscle, legs are feeling strong, lower body's feeling durable, like knees are feeling good, all of that, and down almost 4% body fat. So it's very rare that both of those things happen at the same time, especially the longer that someone is consistent in fitness, the more difficult it is to see huge changes in both of those simultaneously. But I've been seeing huge changes in both of those. So yeah, the stats are definitely showing progress. I'm getting stronger. Every week that I uptick in the running mileage, I feel good. I feel like I'm on pace. I'm not overwhelmed by it by any means. And so just to give you a little bit of perspective on it, I'm going to run you through this last week of training. So this was supposed to be all phase 2. I'll explain a little bit. I forgot the sheet that had my workout for the first phase 2 lift. So it was the phase 1 quad dominant day, but I'll get into it. So here we go. I'll roll the training clips. So for push day, starting out dumbbell incline chest press, going for 4 sets of 10, focusing on mindful movement, not trying to push the weight too crazy, just getting those reps in. Then moving to single arm cable chest flies, 3 by 10 on each side. Great for the core, good chest movement. Supersetting that with plate incline press. So 3 sets of 10, you see Adam in the background there. Heck yeah. Then this one, it was a 3-part tricep circuit. So reverse grip, rope grip, easy bar grip, and then wrapping up with overhead plate press. So that was 5 sets, but going 10, 8, 6, 4, 2. And then you'll see right here, I just like finishing my workouts with pull-ups and push-ups. Feels good to end with a little bit of calisthenics. That was push day. So that was the first day of the week. So in all of my upper body lifts, I'm not necessarily trying to push crazy weight. It's more just about activating the muscles, getting the reps in, understanding that I want to maintain as much muscle as I can. So there you go. So now workout number 2, this was the quad dominant day, starting out with dumbbell deficit squats, 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps. First set, warm up with the 45, and then grabbing the big boy with the 70-pound weight. So 3 working sets with the 70. Toss that bad boy. Next up is dumbbell deficit lunge. So 3 times 10 on each side. This is great for building up my knees and my quads. And also it was pretty good for balance too. Supersetting that with deficit calf raises. Looks like a great dance move. I feel like it would be, but this is just continuing to build up the calves and the knees. So after that, quad burn finisher. I got 3 sets of 10 leg extension, not heavy weight by any means. Superset that with an assisted sissy squat, very heavily assisted because my legs were torched. And then because this was a recovery week, just did a 2-mile walk to cool down. So that whole workout, really the focus is build up the knees, strengthen the quads, a little bit of calf strength in there as well. But I'm not trying to push crazy weight on a lot of these. I'm moving up in weight for sure. And in phase 2, I'll start to push a little bit heavier weight. But the idea is just to hit the movements that will strengthen the parts of my leg that are going to take a bit of a beating. Not a bit, a lot of a beating. Moving into day 3 now, this is a pull day. So starting nice and light, hitting some cable single arm rows. So you saw 6 sets, anywhere from 6 to 12 reps each side. Starting very light, going 12 reps on each side. Quick flex to the camera because why the heck not? And then each set, moving down the stack. So by the time I get done, I'm rolling 120 pounds on the cable on each side, but only going for 6 reps. So little bit heavier than I probably needed to go. But like I said, I want to have fun on my upper body lifts. Deuces. Now, when Kat was recording this, I was procrastinating like crazy. I cut out probably 45 minutes of everyone just joking around. Next up, T-bar wide grip row, 4 sets of 8 to 10 reps. So you saw that first one, I just had the plate on there, just doing a little bit of a warm up, and then 3 working sets with a 45 and a 25, that plus 5 pounds, and then for the heaviest set, 45 and a 35. This is one of my favorite back exercises. I love this machine because I think it forces you to really prioritize just engaging the back, focusing on the mechanics and mindfulness of the movement. Oh yeah, I forgot about this. Yep, I love shooting stuff into the trash can. After that, banded back fly. Same thing as the T-bar row. I just love the feeling of this. I love how the engagement works. Practicing my game face. Gotta love it. From here, moving into biceps. So this was just a straight up pull day. So hit the back, now moving to biceps. So this is alternating between a crossbody hammer curl to just a regular hammer curl. And then supersetting this. Oh, I forgot. We filmed me absolutely obliterated on these. But then supersetting this with a seated incline dumbbell curl. So both of those 3 sets. This one was 3 sets of 8 reps. I don't remember. I think it was like 6 to 8 reps for the crossbody curl. But just, again, nothing crazy. Just trying to have fun, enjoy the movements I'm doing, and then wrapping it up with some delts. So front delt to side delt, front raise to lateral raise, 3 sets of 12. So nice little burn on those. But can't stress enough, the whole idea of the upper body is just to hit upper body, maintain muscle, and have a good time doing it. So those are going to look a little bit different each week. Even today, I did a little bit different push workout than I did last week, but it's just having fun. Now, getting into This was actually a phase 2 workout. So starting with good old banded hip thrusts, 3 sets of 10. Now this is supposed to be barbell hip thrusts. I did not have access to the barbell. And then supersetting with band hip abductions. 3 sets of 15. It doesn't look difficult, but when you put those together, it is. Now getting into the main circuit. So starting with Payloft press. I tried to aim for 5 on each side, but I noticed that my form was slipping, so I did 4, had to be honest. Following that up with trap bar deadlift for 6 reps. And then at the end of this circuit is box jumps. So 4 sets of 3. So all of that was circuit style. So doing 5 reps of the Payloft press straight into the trap bar, straight into the box jumps. At this point, legs were pretty torched. And of course, next up is Bulgarian split squats, hitting 6 reps on each side, focusing on engagement at the top of the movement, and supersetting that with single leg bridges, 15 on each side. Same thing, just being very mindful of engaging the muscles at the top of the movement. And this was awful. Hip abductor finisher. So leaning forward, followed by straight up, followed by leaning back. 20 reps in each position. So 60 reps of hip abductors for 2 rounds. That one was a beast. So keep that in mind for the day 6 workout. My lower body was torched. My glutes were torched. So the day 6 workout was an absolute beast. But getting into day 5 here, starting out with, this was a very quick day. So I did bench press to start, hitting just a nice easy 3 sets of 10 reps. Nothing crazy, just a plate on each side. So one of the movements was push, followed that up with pull. So started with pretty manageable weight, cage grip, lat pulls. So yeah, you'll notice, especially with back, I like to just each set move the weight up a little bit. I have a harder time gauging, where my limit is. And then wrapping up with 30 pull-ups and 60 push-ups. So that was the whole strength day, nice and quick. And then, yeah, very happy to be done. And then ending with 6 miles of running and incline walk, bobbing and weaving between those. So the reason I'm keeping the upper body workout short is because I knew I was already a little tired that day and I had 6 miles of running and hill climbs to do. My goal moving forward is to try to do longer or more intense runs on lower body days. Reason being, I don't want to do a run that will torch my legs and then a lift that will torch my legs and then a run that will torch my legs and then inevitably just have no good rest for my lower body. So the idea is the easiest runs of the week are going to be paired with upper body days. The more difficult runs are going to be paired with lower body days. But getting into day 6, this was all just booty burning. So I got 3 rounds. This was all just one long circuit. So 3 rounds through, starting with 25 steps each way on lateral steps, then immediately moving into banded standing abductions, got 20 of those on each side. Moving immediately into banded feet elevated glute bridges for 20 reps. And then on that 20th rep, staying up, elevated abductions. From there, jumping into some Bosu frog pumps, 20 of those. And then wrapping up with 20 banded clamshells on each side. So this was just, like I said, one long circuit, 3 rounds through. I like that it went pretty quickly because usually Saturdays are going to be a very long run moving forward. But yeah, that's a kind of typical week, 6 days of strength exercises or like strength workouts, anywhere from 3 to 5 days a week of running. The reason I want to switch it up like that, even though the mileage is going to keep ticking up, is because there are some weeks where I want to push the distance every single run and then have more rest days in between. And then there are weeks where I just want to get my body used to every single day, like day after day, doing runs. But yeah, physically, I'm feeling fantastic. Mentally, it's an interesting one. But the last question that I'll answer is there any outside circumstance affecting you right now? Yes, there are quite a few. So with Best Self, I just finalized the event calendar for 2025. For the gym, I coach or now co-coach a race team that has a spring, summer, and fall season, 2 practices a month, an event every month, private coaching for all of the team members every month. So starting to navigate like just the calendar of the race team, the Best Self calendar, once the landscaping stuff starts going again, making sure I have time to do all of my responsibilities for that and get the training in and make sure all of the other stuff for the event is set up. On top of that, there's just kind of life. So like finances right now on top of, living in Wisconsin with my steady income more or less coming from lawn care and snow removal. Well, it's the middle of winter, so we aren't doing lawn care and we haven't had a lot of snow, so we don't get a lot of snow removal. So a little bit of financial stress coming just from relying more heavily on the studio, which I'm still building up. I'm still trying to make sure that as much money can be funneled back through to grow it and put on events. So that definitely holds a little bit of weight. The uptick in training has an effect on other things like amount of time being able to socialize, just energy levels throughout the rest of the day, things like that. So it's kind of like a chicken and egg situation where there are outside things affecting my energy with training. There's also the amount of training affecting my energy for things outside. So yeah, I'd say there are quite a few things that are affecting it, but there are so many things I'm excited about. I almost feel like the past month I've been hibernating a bit. Like my schedule has been really open. My training has been as easy as it's going to be in this whole prep. And now I feel like I'm waking back up. The 2025 calendar is booked up. The training is going to start ramping up. Everything's going to start just getting more and more busy, which I love because I'm very intentional about the things that get put on my calendar are things that either allow me to feel like I'm serving my purpose and I'm in service of those around me. It's pursuing my passions. And so everything on my calendar, I try to very carefully place to make sure that everything I'm doing is going to fill me up, fill up others, and just make for a very meaningful existence, a meaningful life. So it's a lot. It's getting very busy, but it's all things that I'm very much looking forward to. And in turn, a lot of things on the calendar, as it ramps up, it also stabilizes the uncertainty around finances that usually happens in December and January for me. So I think that ought to do it. I mean, I guess a couple of things to point out. The fundraiser is open. So if you have not already donated and you have the means, even if it's $1, anything you can donate, I'm going to throw the link to the fundraiser in the description. If you can share it with people, like don't just by word share it. I've got flyers I can give you to pass out at work. I've got links to send you that you can send other people. Reach out to me. You can find me on all Best Self social medias. I handle those myself. Reach out, see how you can get involved with sharing the fundraiser. If you are interested in crewing, please, please, please let me know immediately. I am trying to get that finalized as soon as possible. So if that's something that you want to do, whether that's crewing for the run, helping out with the after party, whatever that looks like, definitely reach out and let me know. And then beyond that, I think the plan right now is I'm going to design a t-shirt And all of the profits from the t-shirt are also going to go towards the fundraiser. So that will drop soon. I don't have the design set yet. But yeah, there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot ramping up. Mentally, I'm starting to feel that uptick. Physically, I feel fantastic. And we're going to keep rolling. So you can probably expect, honestly, one of these every single week. If nothing else, it'll be a training footage breakdown and then just talk a little bit about the build up. But yeah, this one was running a little bit longer, probably because I haven't talked about it in a while. But I think I'll leave it with that. Until the next one. Peace.